Welcome to Muffin News with your host, Muffin.
Hello lovelies, welcome to a very late night, or early morning for most of you, of Muffin News, bringing you week 1, not week 1 pickems, week 2 pickems, because I had to do PRS week 1 and I just did not have enough time, and time is of the essence. Welcome to the budget pickems for week 2, but before we get into that, very importantly, we have a little recap. So for week 1, there were some amazing battles, and the standings are looking like this, with both Ager and Pug being able to 6-0 both their opponents. Phil is in third with a +5. Brooks is fourth, tied fourth with Dorf with both +3. Hellfire is just clinching out to that final spot with +3. And then you go down to Muffin with -3, etc, etc. So that's where a lot of the standings are. And before we also get into pickems, it's very important that we talk about our top stories. Our top stories tonight. Virizion has been charged with multiple drug violations. We believe that they are smuggling drugs to enhance their performance. Terrakion continues to be the stinkiest div of them all, alongside Cabalion being the most friendliest, apparently, according to the latest polls. And then finally, there's a very weird love triangle between Genesect, Kirim, and Victini going on at the moment. Who will win Victini's heart between Genesect and Kirim? I have no idea, but you just gotta stay tuned to find out. Well, that's it from me, so I'm gonna hand it over to Muffin to give you your week 2 pickems. Thank you so much for having me, Muffin, and that was some very interesting head stories, but I'm glad that we could at least give you this story here. So season 5 pickems, very simply, I'm gonna give you my advice on who I think would win. Very budget, so I'm not really looking at speed tiers. I'm just getting the overall vibe of who could win each matchup. Not only that, but let me know down below who you think is going to win each week. Was I right? Was I wrong? Do I care? Not really, but let's bring it to the first battle with Ager versus Kayla. Very interesting battle along the side. Some powerful Terra captain. More so on Ager's side. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of Kayla's Terra captains. I mean, what I mean by it, you pretty much only have Toxicity as your Terra captains, because Godlord and Primary I don't think are very good Terra captains, personally. Honestly, I think Blastoise, I'm pretty sure Blastoise can Terra, so you're better off Terraing Blastoise, because at least you get the Terra Shell Smash off. When I look at this team overall, I just see, once Grimmsnarl goes down, what do you have for Mewtwo? And I'm pretty sure Mewtwo learns a Fairy type move, so unless you can T-Wave it, and it also doesn't have a nasty plot off to Dazzling Gleam, like what do you actually do to Mewtwo? So that'd be my question to you, Kayla. What do you do to Mewtwo? Because at the moment you do not have any. I don't think you can beat Mewtwo personally. I don't know. Maybe Terragola can actually prove me wrong. But between you and me, if I had to give a point to someone, it's going towards Ager for the win. Then we have Hellfire the Punisher versus Prince. Very interesting dynamic. Honestly, after fighting Hellfire last week, I think Prince is gonna have a run for their money. I personally think. Once again, I think Hellfire has the better team. Dragapult looks really strong here. Of course, we might see a defensive Dondozo to try and balance that out, especially in maybe an Unaware. But you also gotta be careful of Unaware Dondozo, because if they start Draco Mediating you, it isn't affected by the drops. On top of, you might be forced to bring the Ariados or the Grafii, just in case Toxapex. Once again, this Toxapex is really difficult. Is it gonna be Toxapex? Is it just gonna be Infestation or something annoying? Prince, overall, I think your best way of beating this is going to be through Val or Kirim Black. I think after a D-Dance or 2, as long as that Lando isn't Scarfed, I'm pretty sure that could just body the entire team for the most part. I can't really see a Terra really helping too much with a Kirim Black, considering after one D-Dance or even 2 D-Dances, it's pretty much pack up, go home, you've tried. The only thing I can think of maybe stopping that is Bronzong, but then you have Skeletor to kind of balance that out. So if I had to give it a win, I'm still going to go Hellfire, but Prince, you could potentially do it. Then we have Ditto versus Pug. Now, this is going to be a very interesting one, considering you look at the teams and you look at the Ubers, just look at the Ubers, nothing else, and you have a Fairy against a Dragon and a Fighting type. Obviously, that Fairy is part Theo, so the Zamazenta could actually potentially be banded and just CC, doing massive damage to, so say, like Donphan to come in, clean up, or Raikou to come in, clean up, something like that, which could very much be solid. Obviously, if they don't bring Avalog, webs are going to be massive. So I think we could see an vlog once again. Oh, sorry. Once again, it's late at night, so I'm going to be yawning. I think just for the sheer volume of just overall power, I think Pug probably has it. They can also scarf the Masquerada and make it play rough. That's going to be really annoying to fight. They do have a heat trend there. I think the heat trend is probably going to be the saving grace for Ditto. Because you look at this matchup and you look at against heat trend, you know, as long as if Masquerada is already, you know, you could be Troppleberry to handle the Masquerada's low kicks. But on the flip side, you still got to be careful of the Arcanine as well. So overall, I think Ditto is going to have a really hard time, especially with the regen, especially with the pivoting. I think it's going to be, it will either be a very long drawn out battle or it'll be a very quick battle and he's been overwhelmed. Is my predictions for what would be happening. And then we have Brooks the Staller versus me, Muffin, and to be honest, regardless if I win or lose, I lose anyway. I have to verse Stall. Realistically, there are no winners fighting Stall, so regardless if I win or not, I still lose. I had to fight this. Like that's just losing in general. Like generally, probably will do 2-minute prep. If that, because I'm just like, look at this. Do I really want to sit here and theory craft? No, not really. It's boring to fight. It'll be boring to play. Brooks, you 100% got the win. That's what it comes down to. I don't think my team is very well suited for Stall, especially on this type of caliber. Then we have Field versus Temple. Honestly, I think this will be a very tough battle for Temple specifically, because Palkia Origin, I've used Palkia Origin Snowscape before to get around weather. It works for some reason. But even if you don't use that, you still got a Gliscor there to be some type of tank. You have ways to change the weather, but you also just got very powerful Pokemon to try and like. I'm pretty sure Palkia Origin knows A, Bulk Up, and B, Earthquake. You look at that team, nothing really enjoys a Bulk Up Earthquaking Palkia Origin. Similarly, you do potentially have Tentacle, maybe with an Air Balloon or Shuckleberry to handle the Great Tusk. I think the only big issue you're going to come facing is the Great Tusk. I think the Great Tusk will be the biggest issue fighting, or the Gouging Fire. I think if you can try and get around those two, I think you'll clean the rest of the team. So I'm going Field for the pick of the winning. Yes. Then our final battle is Odin versus Jord. They're actually fighting like tomorrow. I think they're planning. Oh, Choo-choo. My doggo is currently ripping up a toy, and I'm not impressed because he knows I'm recording, so he knows he can get away with that. In terms of the battle, I had to take the toy away. He's been grounded. He's been grounded. Honestly, I like Champao in this situation. I think Champao actually brings a lot of value to this matchup, especially like an SD variant. You know, SD with maybe some chip on the Lunala will destroy that. It'll actually destroy most things. I think the only thing you gotta be careful of is the Terror on Hydrapple. But even then, as someone that has used Terror Hydrapple against a Sword Sensing Champao, the calcs do not look good. Like 9 times out of 10, you were dying to an Icicle Crash. And this team, you pretty much only need Icicle Crash and Sacred Sword. If Clefable is unaware but chipped, you're still looking pretty. To be honest, if you play your cards right, I think this will be an easy, clean POW switch. But in saying that, I'm sure Odin will be prepared to fight the POW. I'm sure they will come up with something to beat it. But at the moment, just going on sheer theory crafting and the new team that Draw has behind them as well, in terms of you know, Rayquaza, Petron, no, Petron was over there, but Delphox, him on top, things like that. I think it'll be very, very hard for Odin. So I'm gonna say that Draw is going to win. And that pretty much sums up week 2 of the Pickems. I'm going to hand it back to Other Muffin. And thank you for listening to my little rant. Wow. Just wow, Muffin. That was some amazing analysis, even though you didn't really give much analysis. But that's why, you know, you gave it a thought, you gave it a try, and I'm proud of you. Anyway, that is going to pretty much be the end of this week's for Pickems. Now, I would have done Chewy with the weather, but unfortunately, Chewy decided to be a little bit naughty and decided to rip up his toys. So, if I talk to Chewy right now, I'm pretty sure he's going to say, you know, we're going to throw over to Chewy and we'll see what he says with the weather. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next one. Bye. Chewy with the weather. What is the weather at the moment? What's the weather going to be? After destroying your toy, what's the weather going to be? What's the weather going to be? What's the weather gonna be? Is it gonna be snowing? Is it gonna be rainy? What's it gonna be? Huh? Is it gonna be sunny? Is it gonna be sunny? Oh, come on. What is it gonna be? Huh? What's it gonna be? Huh? Oh, it's gonna be 100% flop ball. Rah, rah, flop ball. It's flop ball o'clock. Boop.